Hello and welcome back to Chasing Green Arrows. Today we'll be doing the predictions for game week 15. It's the Boxing Day week. The games are coming thick and fast. I have with me my co-host Zohar Khan. What's up, man? How are you?
So man, I'm having a tough time keeping up with all these games, bro. I don't know what game week we're in. I just come up, throw my predictions, and leave.
Yeah, man. I mean, we had the Carling Cup in the middle, but now it's back to the football. And game week 15 and 16, there's like no time to breathe, man. I think Saturday, Sunday are games, and then Monday is game week 16. So it's going to
Pretty
be,
much something crazy like that.
yeah, it's going to be really hectic. But just to look at our table, our predictions leaderboard, you're on top 10 points, man. A really good week for you. And that takes you to 52. I'm on second place, 46. Abrar 45, and Ashish, what a comeback, man. He's 40 now. He's back in the race, so it's neck and neck here. But you have a more of a breathing gap now. It was you were I was close to you, but you've got like 6 point
Bro, I
gap on
need
me.
I needed this last week the way that it went for me, and basically what's gonna happen is, bro, Ashish is gonna overtake both you and Abrar at the rate that he's going.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 2 horse race between you and Ashish until me and Abrar fix our predictions and biases and everything. It's gonna be a
Pretty
bit
much.
difficult for us. But yeah, man, you're excited for this game week?
Yeah, man, there's some interesting games going on. There's United Leicester that should be good. There's Arsenal Chelsea, which should be fun as well.
Would you consider
Those
Arsenal Chelsea a big game these days?
I think for history, for nostalgia, yes, but based on current form, no. I don't think that it holds the same weight that this fixture used to. Especially if you think about it, bro. Wenger, Mourinho days, it was like
Yeah,
walking into the into the beaches of Normandy, bro. It was war, but
yeah.
no, it's not the same as it used to be. But it should still be a good game, and I'd like to think that playing a crosstown rival, playing a team that's in a position where Arsenal would like to be, I think would hopefully give Arteta some sort of inspiration, inspire his players as well to put in some sort of performance. So, interesting games throughout the week. And to come back to your point, is it as big as the fixture as it used to be? No, but I think it might still throw some fireworks for us.
Yeah, for sure, and it'll be a really, really important win for Arsenal if they get it. So, interesting to see how that pans out. But yeah, let's go with the first set of games. It's Leicester versus Manchester United. Your thoughts on this match? Both fighting for that second spot, challenging, trying to challenge for that title.
Well, I think that's still a ways off. I think that's still
Yeah, 100%.
Liverpool's to lose, but I think that yeah, United have really sort of put together a good run of form after a rough start to the season. If you look at it with the game in hand, assuming we win it, we would go second. If we win this game against Leicester, that would be even better because it would give us, basically it's a 6 point swing, right? 3 points drop for them, 3 points gain for
Oh
us.
yeah.
Um, what can I say, bro? United's playing away. Our away form has been spectacular. 5 wins, 5 games, 5 wins. We're averaging about 3 goals scored per game, so everything's looking good towards United in that sense. And honestly, with the way Leicester plays, it should give us some space to run into. Leicester's not going to sit there and play in a low block. They don't play as expansive as they used to, but they are still very much a team that will push, and they know that United are there for the taking in the sense that our defense is soft, especially at the beginning of games. So I'm hoping that we learn something from our game against Leeds, and we play like that as opposed to how we played against Southampton and any one of the many other teams where we conceded a goal or two before we started playing. Leicester's coming off of a big win against Tottenham. I didn't think that they would beat Spurs, but they did. And like I said, man, Vardy's always got a few tricks up his sleeve. I think it's going to be a very interesting game, but I got to go with a 3-1 United win.
Going 3-1 United. The thing with Leicester though is they're like probably the most inconsistent team right now. They lost to Everton, then they came and beat Tottenham, and they've been doing this a lot, like in between as well. They lose games, they win games. So it's very interesting. Their form as well is like it's not been stable.
Yeah,
United on the other hand have been doing really good in the league, but they have this habit where they get a string of wins, then a string of losses. Hopefully, for United's sake, it doesn't happen. Like they don't keep losing again because this is a very important period for them. But I think
absolutely.
that defense is going to be an issue, and I think whoever scores more will win the game. So I'm going with a bit tighter, but 2-1 United.
2-1 United, fair
Yeah,
enough.
that card. Hopefully, because this was the last game of last season as well, and United won away from home, so they can take some confidence from that.
Like I said, bro, after seeing them play the way they did against Spurs, I really, sorry, not against Spurs, against Leeds, I
Yeah.
think that that's going to give them confidence. But Leicester's a different team. different proposition. I'm going to stick with my 3-1 prediction, bro. Let's hope it comes true.
3-1 for Manchester United. I'm going 2-1 Manchester United. And moving on to the next game, Aston Villa versus Crystal Palace. Villa looking in good form. Grealish, unbelievable. But one thing about Palace is that, yes, they 8-7 goals, but they're an attacking team. I think it's because of their attacking intent to consider those 7 goals. If they defended a bit, it wouldn't have been. They had their chances. So Crystal Palace is the type of team, if they take the chances, they can cause you a threat.
100%, I agree with you there. But again, we also have to factor into it that they were playing against a Liverpool team that came out with a point to prove, all guns blazing. Bobby Firmino started scoring again. Salah scored. Mane scored. Like, really, it was a very, I don't think we can use that as a comparison point. But Palace have been up and down. They've been on the receiving end of some whippings, and they've also been on the distributing end of some beatdowns as well. Villa, up and down. They're still good. They're still quality. They are, beginning to show more and more where they're going to end up in the table, which I think is towards the top half. I don't know if they're going to make the top 4, but I do think that they're going to make a run for a Europa spot. This game against Palace is going to be an interesting game. I think both teams are going to go for it, and you're going to see the frailties of both squads come to the surface. That being said, I want to say that a 2-1 Villa win should be safe.
2-1 Villa. And Grealish versus Zaha, that's an interesting battle. And El Ghazi had a really good game. We saw him last couple of games. Actually, he had a lot of chances. I think against West Brom, if I'm not mistaken, he missed quite a few chances. You saw that game. But now he took his chances in the last game. So he's also a very interesting kind of player for Villa.
100%, bro. Anwar El Ghazi is sort of the other guy on that team. And, we talked about this, how Villa needs to be more clinical with taking their chances. They're getting the ball up there. They're finding themselves in threatening situations, but they're not getting the end result from it. And that's sort of, the barrier that they're facing right now. If you look at it at the beginning of the season, when they were top 4, top of the table, they were taking their chances. They were killing off games, and they've sort of tailed off on that. Maybe that's just a matter of them coming back to their normal level. But, in order for them to make a sustained run, they need to recapture that. They need to make sure that they take every opportunity that they can, and they need to make sure that they win games against teams that are below them in the table. So this is a perfect example for them. A game against Palace, they need to win this. They need to bank these points so that when they face, let's say, a top 6 team or a top 8 team, they have a little bit more leeway over there.
Yeah, fair enough. So you're going 2-1 to Villa. I'm going 2-2. I just feel there's going to be a lot of goals in this game, and the likes of Zaha as well will pose a threat. It won't be as tough for them as it was against Liverpool, but yes, they need to defend better. Otherwise, Grealish will expose you. So, but yeah, I'm going 2-2. And then moving on to the next game, Fulham versus Southampton, man. Your thoughts on this game?
So, me, I've been high on Saints all season. I think that, I called that they would lose to City. I thought that was just going to be a game where they wouldn't be able to just bring enough talent to the table. But this Fulham team has been abysmal, man. Fulham, they have I think they're 18th right now in the league. So, very shaky relegation. But that being said, last 3 games they've drawn the 3 games. So they're sort of, you can see the beginning of some sort of foundation forming that they might be able to use to salvage their season. But I want to give it to Southampton, bro. Especially, bro, they've been playing really well away. So I think that Southampton is going to win 2-0.
2-0 to Southampton. Fair enough. But Fulham, I think, they've not been doing bad, like especially for a relegation kind of team. Promotion. They're not as good as Leeds from the promoted sides, but they're doing a decent job in the last few weeks. Scott Parker set them up and organized them well. But I feel, Southampton are on another level right now, and I'm probably going with. I'll go a bit higher, 3-1 Southampton.
3-1 Southampton. That's fair. Yeah, Mitrovic to score or no?
No, man, the guy has not been showing up, man. I think if he comes, he can convert those draws into wins for Fulham. But yeah, man, I still feel I completely agree with all your points. Southampton will probably nick it. Not nick it. I think they'll win comfortably. And then Arsenal versus Chelsea should be the game of the game week, the biggest game of the game week. Arteta, walking those fine margins, whatever you want to call it, like his thin margins. He's almost out of the door, man. Almost out of the door. But
that man is currently sitting in the twilight zone. Honestly, man, no matter which way you look at it, Arsenal's record over the past couple of games has been pretty poor.
Last couple.
Last 10
games, man. Since the United game.
Exactly. No matter how you break it down, basically, last 5 games, 4 losses, 1 draw. Whether you look at it last 5 home games, last 5 away games, or last 5 overall, the record is still the same. It doesn't change. So that's something to be concerned about. Their last win was against Dundalk, and I think before that they won against Rapid Vienna. So sure, you're winning in Europe against, admittedly subpar competition, but you're really not achieving any sort of meaningful results in the Premier League. And this Chelsea team, they've struggled to perform against teams that are in the top half. So luckily for them, they're facing a team that's in the bottom half. So that being said, I think that Chelsea is going to look to rebound. They rebounded in style versus the Hammers. That 3-0 win should give them confidence. Moyes' team hasn't been playing well, so I think it's something for them to build on. Lampard has some things to figure out. Werner's not scoring. Havertz has looked lost. So these are two things that are very important for them to figure out in order for that team to unlock its full potential. But I think that this current Arsenal squad doesn't really have anything for them. It's a 3-1 Chelsea win for me.
3-1 Chelsea. And just to touch on Chelsea, I think Abraham starting, I think that was a good move because just Giroud has been in really good form and everything, but I just feel he's more effective off the bench. And Abraham can provide those runs behind the defenders and he creates space. Yes, Werner really needs to work on his finishing, but he's getting those chances. But yeah, I just feel Abraham will finish those chances. I think he is clinical, so I think they should continue to start him.
Yeah, just the way that it is right now. I mean, look, Giroud is amazing. I love him. I love what he does, but Abraham brings, like you said, a completely different dimension to the attack. He's more mobile. He makes those runs in behind. Giroud plays more with his back to the goal. They both bring different things to the game, and it's just what the default system for this Chelsea team should be. So I feel that with Abraham, they played their more natural game. But then the question also becomes, right now, Lampard's been starting Jorginho. Do you drop Jorginho and do you play Conte? Because Conte has been having a quietly good season as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of questions to be asked, but I don't think that Arsenal is going to ask too many of them in this game. But this Chelsea squad is probably going to be one of the most interesting stories throughout the season.
Yeah, no, for sure. So you're going 3-1 Chelsea. Just one last question on Arsenal. Are you surprised? Like, yes, even under Wenger, they used to lose games, even under Emery, but are you surprised with the style of play? Because it's kind of boring now. It's not like that Arsenal where they get chances and they miss and everything like that. But it's a bit more defensive. So even that United game, which they won, it was a very defensive kind of performance.
Honestly, bro, I think that we need to start talking about the new manager bounce and how much Arteta benefited from that last season. So when he won the FA Cup, when he won the Community Shield, I think these were things that he definitely benefited and the team benefited from the phenomenon known as the new manager bounce. Now that it's been, he's had time there, the team has regressed back to its actual level, and he's now faced with this, with this huge uphill task, right? Yeah. So it's a question that, no matter what Arteta, I feel like no matter what Arteta's doing, he's not getting a response out of it, and as a result, you're seeing really unattractive, really disconnected, disjointed football. Can that be changed by maybe chopping and changing a few players? We talk about Ozil, but at this point, Ozil's not a factor. He's not even in the Premier League team. But maybe something like dropping like Willian, moving things around over there. What does Martinelli coming back do for them? These things might change it, might change the complexion for Arsenal. You might see more attacking football. You might see more goals. But yeah, right now I agree with you, man. They're definitely looking like a team that's really struggling to score, and that's what's weighing them down more than anything.
Yep. Yeah, I think I agree with all those points. Some really good points there. You're going 3-1 Chelsea. I'll probably go 2-0 Chelsea. I'll probably keep the clean sheet. Odds on the red card?
Odds on the red card. Well, I mean, Xhaka should still be banned. Pepe should still be banned. So who's left, bro? Who's left?
I don't know, man. It could be anybody, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be funny, man. I don't know. I think this is the last straw. Like, if he loses the game, he's sacked in the morning. That's what I feel.
I don't think he will be, but maybe we can put a side bet on that, you and me.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting because I don't think the Carling Cup is against City and everything like that. But this Chelsea game, if they lose at home, it's going to be a big issue. I think fans will start making noise. But yeah, man. Honestly, I'm hoping for a good game. These two teams, like you said, they have a rivalry, they have a history, and hopefully we can see some sparks and a really good game. But yeah, I think that wraps up that match. Next game, Man City versus Newcastle. City haven't been the City that we know. They pulled off a 1-0 result against Southampton, but it's not that clinical, 4-5-0 kind of City. They've conceded goals as well. They lost 5-2 to Leicester. But yeah, they probably start off favorites in this game.
I definitely have them as favorites in this game. They're coming off a really good performance against Arsenal, 4-1 comprehensive victory, and a lot of rotation in that as well. Nice to see Foden scoring. Nice to see some of their younger players getting a chance to kick about. City have looked solid in their last 5 games. Man, 3 wins, 2 draws. Like I said, they already smashed Arsenal. Newcastle have been poor away. They lost to Brentford. They lost to Leeds. Back-to-back losses. That must be demoralizing. So is it it's definitely not ideal for them to have to play City right after going through that. So I think that they're still going to be dealing with the hangover of those results, and City should walk away with a simple 2-0 win.
2-0 for City. I'm probably going to go a bit higher, 4-0 City. I just feel that Newcastle, that Brentford loss is going to really put them down.
It's really gonna eat into their psyche, eh?
Yeah, like even Wilson played, it's like they had a good team, so they should have really gone through. But yeah, I just feel City need to make a statement, need to come back and challenge, at least try and challenge for that title, because they have the squad. So I think this is a good time to make that statement. 4-0 City. And then moving on, Sheffield versus Everton. Ancelotti's got his boys back, man. They had an amazing start, then a dip, and now they're back on a good roll, on a good run of games.
And he's got them playing almost like, I wouldn't say that they're grinding out results, but they're playing more sort of like pragmatic football. At the beginning of the season, it was swashbuckling. It was they were wowing you with their offensive talent, but now it's like a more complete, comprehensive performance that you're seeing. Bro, the Sheffield team, we've already talked about it. They're bottom of the league. They've got 1 point from all their games so far. They're cruising to be the quickest team to be relegated.
Last couple of games, they've done better though. They've slowly improved.
They've shown some life, but still, there's so much more to do. No matter how you break it down, dude. 4 losses, 1 draw in their last 5. Everton 3 wins on the trot. So wins against Leicester. Who else did they beat? They beat
Chelsea.
They beat Chelsea, and they had one more win. I forget who it was, but three solid wins that they've come away with. I think that's really going to help them. So this is really going to give them confidence to swat away with the Sheffield team. I've got it as a 3-0.
Arsenal was the third.
Arsenal was the third. That's it. The only thing that it's worth factoring in is whether injuries, basically affect the way that they play. Like you saw, Alan wasn't playing last time. James, he's in and out, but Sigurdsson's been stepping up. So there's that sort of thing to factor in as well. But I'm personally picking a 3-0 Everton win.
You're going 3-0, man. That's my score against Sheffield for every team. But this time I'll just go a goal down, because I just feel that Sheffield have been fighting here and there. So I'll just go with a 3-1 Everton win. I just feel they have a goal in them, Sheffield, and slowly they're improving. But yes, I don't think they're going to win the game. And just with Ancelotti, just goes to show these kind of managers, they have their class. They can adapt, like you said. I think you made a really good point. The flamboyant football and everything. Then they had that dip and he learned and then changed. It shows the experience of a manager. And I think that's what other clubs, big clubs, I don't want to get into that argument, but that's what they're lacking. He shows that what an experienced manager can do. He can adapt to situations.
That's it. You need a plan A and you need a plan B. You need how you're regularly going to play, and then you need how you're going to play when things aren't going your way or when you don't have all the necessary pieces. And I feel like managers like, let's say, Lampard, Ole, even Poch, once plan A doesn't work, there is no plan B, and that's where things fall apart for them.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. There's some really good points. And moving on to the next game, Leeds versus Burnley. Leeds, man, I mean, they're playing their kryptonite, I'd say, completely opposite. Burnley is going to be there just defending all day, and Leeds will attack all day. I think it's going to be in one half of the court, the game.
For me, basically, it's just Leeds played some of the most attractive football in the league, and Burnley played some of the ugliest football in the league. So for me, it's basically the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Burnley have been on a good run of results for them, if you want to call it. 2 wins and a draw in their last 3. Maybe they can pull off an upset again. They upset the famous Gunners. But let's see if they're able to repeat that sort of performance against Leeds. I think it's going to be a lot of what you said, where Leeds is going to be constantly attacking. We know that's how they play. That's how any Bielsa's team plays. So I'm picking a 2-0 Leeds win.
Going 2-0 leads. And just credit to Bielsa. I think a lot of people criticize him that, like, they over-attacked United and everything. But to play that type of football with a promoted side, you didn't like spend that much. Like, you're taking a championship side, okay? He didn't really invest as much, like, in Premier League players. He had his players, he had his set, he had his thing. And the way they're playing is very impressive. And yes, they will have weaknesses. They will have games which they'll get thrashed. But to play this type of football and still be, I think if they're not relegated this season, is a huge, huge bonus for them.
Absolutely, man. I think that, especially with the way that they've been playing, they should be realistically looking at a top half finish at this point.
And if they do, and he gets an investment, I mean, like, because if you stay top, you'll get a lot of money, if you stay in the Premier League. So he can use that money in the next transfer market and really take the side to different levels.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, because this Leeds team right now, there's no pressure on them. There's no expectations, right? They came up, they were promoted. If they went right back down, no one would have said anything. So they're playing with like this freedom, this like almost like free-spirited nature. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how that changes if they do survive and if they do end up in a decent position at the end of the season. Next season is going to be sort of like the key. How do they strengthen? How do they reinforce their squad? What sort of funds are available? And then how do they deal with the pressure of being, now they're not a promoted team anymore. Now they're a Premier League team. How do they deal with that pressure? So they're a very interesting team to be following. And I think for anyone who's a neutral, it's a good squad to be looking at.
Yeah, for sure. So you're going 2-0 Leeds. I'm very confused about this, but I'll probably I'm gonna go with 1-0 Leeds. I was going to go 1-1. I just felt Burnley will take a point, but I think I'll just go 1-0. 1-0 Leeds. Hopefully.
Go with your gut, man. Go with your gut. Don't second guess yourself.
Yeah, no, I think it's just I just feel Burnley will score because Leeds will. Yeah, let's go 1-1, man. 1-1 Leeds and Burnley. 1-1 Leeds and Burnley, because I just feel they have a lot of gap at the back and Burnley might utilize that for sure. So yeah, I'm going 1-1 Leeds versus Burnley, and then the next game, West Ham versus Brighton.
So honestly, man, I thought that the Hammers would put up a better performance against Chelsea. They didn't. They got spanked 3-0. They didn't really have anything for them all game. So that sort of made me worry a little bit. But Brighton have been poor all season. Brighton haven't been able to buy a goal to save their lives. They play some really attractive football. We've talked about this. They look really nice when they play, but you're just not getting enough from them in terms of results, in terms of end product. So I think that this will be a good game for West Ham to look to bounce back. I think Brighton will be able to nick a goal, but West Ham should win this 2-1.
You went 2-1 West Ham. I feel that West Ham actually, they were in the game until the second half. They couldn't create that last chance that, the finishing product wasn't there. But I think they were in this. So they got into the game, and there were some glimpses of some good football there. But yes, they weren't clinical enough, I felt. So they'll need to be better against Brighton. I think they will be. I'm going with the 2-0 West Ham win. And then Liverpool versus West Brom. I've never predicted Liverpool to win a game this season, and that's gone.
Going to change?
That's gone really well for me, eh? But okay. Your thoughts on this game? Yes, Liverpool, amazing, 7-0, unbelievable. But it might not be as easy as not easy, but it might not be as high scoring because West Brom will sit back.
I think, definitely that becomes a factor into it as well. How is West Brom going to play? I think they're definitely going to be looking to play a low block, make it frustrating for Liverpool. But this Liverpool team has tons of talent and they're firing on all cylinders, regardless of injuries, no injuries. They've been able to come back from it. West Brom sitting 19th in the league. Pool coming off a 7-0 demolition of Crystal Palace. They're top of the league. So I don't think that this is going to be much of a challenge for Liverpool. I think it should be a simple 3-0 win.
3-0 to Liverpool. I'm going 1-1. 1-1 Liverpool West Brom. Enough said. If they could have hold City to a draw, let's hope that they can hold Liverpool to a draw. 1-1. And then Wolves versus Spurs. Tottenham, man, last couple of games, 2 losses and then a draw as well. So I don't know, that dip coming. Will Mourinho bounce back?
I definitely think he's going to bounce back, but Mourinho's been talking about this. Mourinho's been setting expectations that this is not the year for his team to win the league. And, whether that's just mental warfare, whether that's just him playing mind games, I don't know what it is. But, they were in pole position. They could have easily been top of the table, but they've had a couple of results go against them. That Liverpool game, they lost, and they lost comprehensively in that Leicester game as well. So I think they need to regroup. They need to go back to doing what they were doing well before. This Tottenham team isn't that hard to plan against. You know what's going to happen. They're going to look to get the ball to Kane, who's going to look to get the ball to Son. So if you can cut that off, then you stand a much better chance of being able to contain them, being able to defeat them. But that's easier said than done. And this Wolves team has been up and down. I thought that they would have won their last game. They didn't. They lost to Burnley 2-1 of all teams. So I'm not quite sure what to do, but Nuno definitely can't be pleased with that result. Then again, I got to pick one Portuguese over the other, so I'm going to go with Jose over Nuno, 2-1 to Spurs.
Right, 2-1 to Spurs. I'm in agreement, man. I think 2-1 Spurs as well. It's going to be that kind of cagey kind of game, but probably Son or someone to nick it at the end for Spurs. I think that wraps up the predictions. Any last thoughts?
No, man. Just honestly, it's been super hectic with the game weeks. There's games tomorrow. There's games the day after. It's just all over the place. So it's football everywhere.
And the squad rotation, there's going to be a lot because, you have 26, 27 games. And then again, the next game week starts on the 28th. So there's going to be there might be squad rotation, injuries, COVID updates and stuff as well. So just keep an eye out on that.
For sure, man. Definitely.
That could screw with our predictions.
That's where squad depth is going to be extremely important. You're going to see those teams that have a bench are really going to benefit from that. And who knows, maybe Donny might even start a game.
Yeah, I think is going to be really interesting because already the games have been congested and add to the festive period. I think keep an eye out on that, like the squad depth and everything. I think with that, it wraps up everything. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully see you soon. Enjoy the games, man. Enjoy the festive period. A lot of games to look forward to.
For sure. You too, man. Take care.